I just paid $2,500 for this Toyota Camry, and later on in this video, I'm gonna go through a lot of these cars that I've recently bought, show you the prices that I paid and what I'm going to sell them for, so you can figure out exactly how much I'm trying to make. So this is one I can show you that you don't often see here at my car dealership. If you watch these videos, I often do a lot of these updates where I show you how much I'm actually paying for cars. This is a 2006 RAV4. We don't get to buy many RAV4s because they go for so high. I've got $3,100 in this thing, and we're selling it for right at $4,500. And this is one of the vehicles that I wish we could buy tons of. I bought a lot of the RX 330s, the RX 350s. For whatever reason, I can buy a lot of those for better prices than I can even buy these RAV4s. So it's a good sign showing that prices are starting to trend the way that we want them to. Maybe some inventory's trending a little bit of way that we want to, or it's the fact that maybe some other dealers are slower right now, and it's just that a RAV4 like that can fall through the cracks a little bit. We're able to buy it. Whatever the case, I don't care. I like that we have it. It's going to be an easy sell for us at $4,500. No problem. Love them. All right, so I talked about this Toyota Camry in the intro. It's a 2008. We got $2,500 that we paid for it. We've got an auction fee that we have to pay. It's a couple $100. So we'll end up having like $2,700, $2,800 in this car when everything's said and done. Probably gonna be a $4,000 car on my lot. I love having Toyota Camrys. We buy them all the time. Very reliable. If anyone ever asks me, okay, what's the best sedan, best bang for my buck? As far as what I'm getting, reliability, cost, and the type of car, it's always one answer for me. It's always a Toyota Camry. All right, so I like to keep you updated on where we are as far as inventory goes. Over the last 2 days, we've bought about 10 cars and we've only sold one. And then this past Saturday, which is usually our busiest day, we only sold 2 cars. And then last week we actually bought a lot of cars. So for this past week, we actually added more inventory than we sold, which is a good thing as far as buying goes, but we've just been a little bit slower on our sales. But you can see behind me, we don't have a full 3 rows yet. We have 2 holes right there where the cars that one of them got stolen and the other one got broken into. But then we have a few holes up here too. But other than those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 holes, we have 3 full rows up here, and then the front of my building, those 2 rows are filled. So we're doing good right now as far as getting cars out. The problem that's going to arise is when we have all these cars that are coming out for sale. If we don't sell a few in the next couple of days or so, then we're going to run out of spots to actually put cars for sale. So we have had a row 4 before where we put it right here, but you can see how close it gets to where we're going to need to have customers park, and then when they back out or test drives coming out of our inventory, then it gets kind of tight. So we want to have the 4 rows, but we'd like to have the 4 rows maybe a week or a week and a half before tax time actually hits, and not have to have it a month before tax time hits. That would cause some aggravation and some stress for my team that hopefully we don't have to go through right now. And this is one I want to point out too. I think I've got the right one. Yes, it's got to be right. I think it's a 2012 Subaru Outback. We only paid $2,400 for this thing. I love Subaru. So we got a Subaru right there. I've got another one that is right there. We got a bunch of them up on the hill that are for sale. I got another one. Oh, you see it right there for sale. Love Subarus. If I would have to put what we like to buy like in ranks, it'd be like Toyota, Lexus. Actually, probably right now Lexus, Toyota, Honda, and then it's probably Subaru and Mazda close behind that too. We sell them very well, especially these Outbacks, the Foresters. Good little hatchback cars. I think they're very reliable. There's been a history of them potentially having head gasket problems. These are all things that we can check though before we actually buy them, so we don't run into a lot of that. And also, there's been some cases where people don't like the CVTs. I don't like CVTs in those kind of transmissions in like Nissans, but I think Subaru actually did a pretty good job on them. And there's some Toyotas that have some CVTs that I'm good with too. But my big thing is the Nissan CVT. So I know I talk about Subarus a lot, and people say in the comments, well, I thought you didn't like CVTs. I think Subaru did an okay job with them, and that's why we're okay buying them. And we don't run into almost any problems with a Subaru transmission or any Toyota transmissions. We rarely run into any issues with those. And I've yet to have a head gasket problem out of Subarus, and I bought hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these things. All right, so check it out. All these cars that are around me right here, I can spin you around. All of these, we just got them cleaned up. We have a mobile detail company. They come out once a week. This week we have so many cars that we have just bought that they're coming out twice. We got 20 that need to be cleaned and put out for sale. So they're hitting 10 one day. They hit 10 today. These are already cleaned up. And then we've got another 10 for them to hit tomorrow. So this is something that's just a constant with us, week in, week out. Even when we're not during tax time, we usually only have like one day where they come out and they'll hit 12, 13, 14 cars. But that's how many we have to buy every single week to keep our business running. And right now, when we're trying to load up a little bit more, we're going to have more. And obviously, it takes time for them to knock out all these cars, and they can't get to all of them in one day. But they don't mind because we keep them going every single week. But you see up here on the hill, getting a little bit more added here, and numbers are progressing. We're slowing down as far as sales go because we're getting into that time period now where people who are wanting to buy cars, they're holding on until they get their tax check so they have that extra cushion. Even if they have money right now to be able to afford one of our cars, well, it's still going to help them out to have that extra $3,000-$4,000 in the next month or so. For the month before tax checks hit, we have tons and tons of people that are basically on hold that come into our shop, find something that they want to buy, and whenever tax checks actually fall into place, then that's when we get absolutely destroyed. It's funny, we just had a lot of these cars dropped off by a transporter. He's a new one for us. We like him a lot so far. But what was funny is that he was like, well, Brandon, what you're doing, nobody else does. Like, you got $3,000 cars, and I don't see that anywhere else, because he transports for a lot of dealers. And he's like, this is a great niche. I mean, people need this kind of stuff. I'm like, yeah. He's like, and I know you guys work hard because I know that you're checking out these cars before the auction actually. I said, well, how'd you know that? You don't know that we go and look at these cars before. He said, well, every car that I get in that you're going to transport, it cranks. And that's never the case on any of these other dealers. So that's a good head nod from him, and him knowing that we actually check out the cars, and there's a little evidence behind it because the cars freaking crank that we buy. So we need them to crank so we can check them before the actual sale runs, right? All right, so I want to show you this car right here, and I'm bending down because it's been damaged right here. It was actually not like this when I bought it. This is a 2005 Toyota Corolla. I paid $1,300 for it. Now, it didn't have the hubcaps whenever I bought it, and I like buying cars that don't have hubcaps because it makes it look really bad, and a lot of dealers will turn their nose up at cars that don't look very good coming through the lane. But this is an easy fix. We can get hubcaps for $25-$30, make this car look completely different in the eyes of a lot of other car dealers that wouldn't even buy it, and that's why I got this thing for so cheap. It's $1,300. But let me add in this. So you can see this was I don't know how good the camera's picking it up, but there's a dent right here, right? And then it's got paint on it. Well, the auction actually ran into a pole with this car, and so we had a little issue where I had to look at the car. They sent me some pictures, and they said, well, Brandon, you can just no-sell the car, and then we'll just give you your money back, or you will send it to our body shop and see how much it's going to get fixed, and we can either get it fixed or we can just give you the money for it. And I'm like, okay, well, send me the pictures. So they sent me these pictures, and just this little dent right here, and then there's a little bit of a scrape where there's paint on the back. But they gave me $800 to not do any of this work on this. So now this $1,300 car becomes a $500 car for us, and then we're going to be able to sell it super cheap to somebody. And yeah, it doesn't look good, but somebody's going to be able to get in this car for very, very, very cheap. And it's still not going to affect how it runs. Now, we're going to get in here and actually look and make sure nothing was bent on the inside. But from what I'm seeing right here, most likely not. And we might have to get a rim because it looks like it possibly was bent. I don't know if that was actually there. That might have already been there. But not much money for us to have to fix it. Now, here's the thing. We could go in and we could pop the dent out. We could repaint some of this stuff. But at the end of the day, it's a 2005 Toyota Corolla with high mileage that we have almost no money in. And if we can get it inspected, if it feels like it's safe to drive, if it feels like it's mechanically sound for our customer, then what we'll do is we'll just sell it extremely cheap. Somebody's going to get a crazy good deal. And all because the auction ding this thing up, and other dealers didn't want to deal with it because it's an ugly car, right? So these are the kind of things that I like to buy, and I like to be able to sell them very, very cheaply. This kind of stuff that makes our business, and why a lot of consumers will come back to us time after time after time again, because they can come and buy a $2,000 car. They can come buy a $2,500 car and run it, and they just drive it until it explodes, and then they come buy another $2,000, $2,500 car. And here's the thing, the average used car payment right now is what, like $550. So on a $2,000 car, if somebody has this car last 4 months, after that, they're printing money, right? So I'm a used car dealer that sells cars that are $5,000 and under, and there are a lot of things right now that are going on that I'm very, very worried about. And I can say the number one thing is what we really have coming in the horizon, and that's tax time. And for us, for a used car dealer, small used car dealer like myself, this is our Christmas. This is the time period where we're going to sell most of our cars. They're going to get out of here, and they're going to get out of here very quickly. A lot of people will get money back from the government, and that's the only money that they're going to have for the year to be able to actually buy a car. So what do? They come to Brandon's lot and they buy a $2,500, they buy a $3,500 car. We're busy every time during this time period, every single year. We're very busy during this time period. But here's what I'm worried about. Right now, we don't have as many cars as I would like to have to be able to capitalize on this. And it's become a lot more difficult here lately to be able to keep up with the amount of cars that we're actually selling. So that's great for us right now, but the problem is when we go to try to replace these cars, it's becoming more and more difficult for us to be able to buy the amount of cars that we need, either a quality problem or just cars being too expensive at auction, because there's a lot of other car dealers that are trying to do the exact same thing that I'm doing right now, and that's load up on inventory. So what we see is that, okay, well, when tax checks actually hit, well, prices go even higher than what they are now, because just like me, a lot of these other car dealers will sell through a lot of their inventory, and then they'll rush to car auctions just like I try to do and get more inventory. But here's the thing, when prices go up, it prices me out. I want to be the car dealer that sells cars that are $5,000 and under, and even something like this Kia right here that I'm selling for $3,000. We probably have right at $2,000 in it. This car is going to go to $3,000 or $3,500 at the auction after tax checks hit. That's how crazy all these prices go after all these dealers are able to sell a lot of these cars. And I don't want to be caught up in all that craze, because then the money goes away very quickly after a lot of these people spend their money and go buy cars. So here's my worry that comes after tax time. If I'm not able to buy enough cars to capitalize on the craze that happens in that 3 to 4 week period when tax checks actually hits, then I'm not going to be able to go and load back up for at least a month and a half after these tax checks hit. So there could be a 2-month window where I just don't really sell any cars because we don't have any to sell. And at that time, then we have overhead, we have employee costs, we have rent, we have licensing, we have insurance. All that stuff eats into my bottom line. And yeah, we're going to kill it during tax time. We're going to sell everything that's out here. But it's almost a better scenario if we just continue to do status quo kind of things and pump out cars like we're doing right now. Because now we can replace them. But it gets to be right after tax time, and we're not going to be able to. And what are we hearing? We're hearing that this tax time is going to be better than any we've seen in a very, very long time. And if that's the case, that's going to push prices up even higher. So even if we could go in, and what we could usually do is, okay, maybe we are going to pay a little bit more for cars. Maybe it's going to be $500 or more that we pay for some cars, and we can still buy some here and there. It's not going to be the case if all these other dealers get smashed like we usually do, even if it's an upper tier range, because those mid-level dealers, what they'll do is they'll creep down into the cheaper stuff when all of their stuff gets more expensive too. So all these Toyota Camrys, I got a Camry right there that we're accustomed to buying, the Ford Explorers, these Subarus that I can go in and buy for $2,000, $2,500, $3,000. No, they're going to be $1,000, $1,500 more in some cases, and it's going to be a big time problem for my car dealership for at least I would say a month and a half after tax checks hit. So for us not to be able to buy as many cars right now as I want to, and then possibly not be able to capitalize, and then possibly not be able to buy cars for 2 months after tax checks hit, might be bad news for my dealership. And last week I actually showed this this 4Runner. It's going to be coming out soon, actually, for sale. But I got blown up on this thing. I got a couple emails on it and then comments everywhere about that 4Runner. And here's the thing: I don't give out my location. I know I've had a lot of you out there say, well, this dude doesn't exist, because no, I'm not trying to be the car dealer that's peddling my my cars out on YouTube, while I'm also trying to give you advice and show you what's going on in the car market. The message just doesn't come across. And the other thing that we've seen too, people who do look at our website, and I say, okay, I've got 110 cars, but there's only 45 cars on our website. Well, you're lying about how many cars. No, what do you think, that we buy a car instantly from auction and then it just magically shows up on our website? No, all these cars that are down in recon, none of them are on our website yet. They're not posted. Only the ones that are ready. So people, stop being all right about insulted you. I'm sorry. Just stop. You're too much.